G'day, and welcome back to another episode of the Bear of Bull Market Boulevard. Today we're going to be talking about mortgage calculations. And when I say mortgage calculations, I mean in the hypothetical event you were to purchase a house and borrow money from a financial institution, how much would your mortgage repayments be? So today we're going to start with a hypothetical situation. You are purchasing a $600,000 house and you are putting 100,000, or actually let's make it 120,000 just to keep that 20% consistent. You're putting $120,000 deposit down on the house, so you're borrowing $480,000 in this case. So we're going to go to a couple of different websites, some of the major banks in Australia, and see how their calculators operate and show you what your potential monthly repayments might be based on their interest rates and how they work. Finally, we're going to come back to this website. So as you can see on your screen right now, we are looking at moneysmart.gov.au. So MoneySmart have a really good calculator set up in the background that makes it just easy to play around with for people that are thinking of buying their first house or just buying a house in general. And you're playing around and thinking, oh, what does it cost to service a XYZ amount of debt? So I want to buy a house for 400, 500, 600, 700 with XYZ deposit. So MoneySmart is a great place to play around with that, but I want to show you what the banks look like when you type in those sort of calculations. So let's start with CBA. So as I said, we'll start with, we're buying a house for $600,000 and we're putting $120,000 deposit, so we've got $480,000 we need to borrow. The loan term in each of these cases, we're going to do 30 years. You can do 25 years as well. Most banks will allow for 25 years, but just to make it easy, 30 years is sort of the standard. So loan amount, $480,000, term 30 years, repayment type. So let's explain that quickly, just in case you're not aware. There are two different types of repayments. So you have principal and interest, or interest only. So although it does show 5 different options here, there is only the one or two different options. Principal and interest means you're paying the principal of the property, so the property value of XYZ plus interest payments on that. In the event and it's less common these days, it was quite common in the early 2000s that you could purchase a property, especially investment properties, and you would pay interest only. What does that mean? So when you purchase a property for $500,000 and I'm just making this easy for me just for maths, you purchase a property at $500,000 and it has a 10% interest rate per year. It means you're not paying the principal off every year, you're just paying the interest of 10%, which is $50,000 per year. If you're paying the principal and interest, you'd be paying a higher amount, but you'll also be paying towards the principal of the home, inevitably paying the home loan down, or the home down. If you pay interest only, you're not actually paying the value of the property down. The reason a lot of people did this was because they assumed, or they thought that the value of the property would increase over time. So paying interest only, they wanted the value of the property to go up and then sell it at some point whilst also getting rental income. This was for investment properties solely. But in this case, we're going to choose principal and interest because this is your property, your principal place of residence. So we are highly unlikely, even if they allow you to do this anymore, interest only would be unlikely. So loan amount 480, term 30 years, repayment type, principal and interest, and we're going to go with their automatic interest rate. So if you were to borrow $480,000, you are paying $3,031 per month. Now, over the term of 30 years, the total interest you will be charged is $611,000. So the total loan repayments in today's dollars is $1,091,000. And you can change this to monthly, fortnightly, or weekly, depending on when you get paid. So great little indicator. Excellent little calculator. Thank you very much, CommBank. Next, ANZ. So again, buying a house for 600, but we're putting 120 down. Now, important note here, yes, I'm aware there will be other costs to the property, whether it's your first home or not. You might pay stamp duty. There'll be other fees that are involved, which could make up an extra $5,000, $10,000. But we're just going very simply here. So we're purchasing an owner-occupied property. We're putting 120 down, so we need to borrow 480 from the bank. We're going to go for a variable rate. Great. So thank you very much. A little bit different. Gives you the option here. CommBank did give the option before, but I didn't drop down the box, so sorry about that. What's the difference between variable and fixed? Variable rates go with the cash rate. So if the cash rate increases, as you see on the first Tuesday of every month, if the cash rate increases, your variable rate loan will increase also, or decrease if the cash rate decreases and the banks follow suit. Now, with a fixed rate loan, which a lot of people did during the COVID pandemic, you can fix your rate for, at the time, 3.5%, whatever it was. There was a lot lower rates at some times. But right now, if you were to fix your rate at, let's say, 6.5%, 7%, you are fixed for a certain term, depending on what you fix it at. So it might be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and even potentially 5 years. The reason you fix rates, whether you do it for the whole loan or a partial amount of the loan, is because if you fix the rate at, and let's use today's example, 7%, I'm not sure what the fixed rates are, but let's just pretend they are 7%. The reason you're fixing it at 7% for a 5-year term is because you think that interest rates will continue to increase, which means you're fixing it at 7% with the view that in the future months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever it might be, interest rates will continue to go up, meaning that the rate you fixed in is by future mortgage borrowers. Anyway, in this case, we're going to go variable. Principal and interest again, I explained that in the last tab, and we're going to go with their automatic interest rate, which is 6.54, so only slightly higher than CBA, and we're going to do a loan period of 30 years. So calculate my repayments. So on a monthly basis, we are paying $3,047, and that is based on, yeah, perfect. So we did say we're putting $120,000 down, which is a 20% deposit, and they're only giving this rate to people who have put a 20% deposit down. So let's explain that term there, LVR, loan to value ratio. So this special offer discount is only applied to people with an LVR of 80% or less. So what that means is you have put down either 20 or more percent on your property prior to getting a loan or while you are getting the loan. Finally, we're going to go to Westpac, 480,000. And this is a very straightforward one. There's no little tick boxes or anything like that. We're going to say monthly, estimated 1.2, and they have provided, by the looks of it, in years 1 to 2, variable flexi first home loan intro rate. So they're giving you a little bit of an intro rate here. Let's not use that. Let's go straight for the actual rate, $3,105 monthly in today's dollars. We will have to look at that a little bit more. So let's see. Okay, that's a little bit misleading, but essentially it looks like they're giving you a slightly discounted or a discount rate for the first 1 to 2 years. But again, I'm not 100% sure what's going on there. Gives you a nice little graph here to understand the loan term, principal owing, interest charged on an annual basis, summary of your loan. Great. So again, CBA, ANZ, and Westpac all have these calculators available on their website. Now, if you want something a little bit more detailed, and it's more so just for your own information, MoneySmart does have a mortgage calculator, which we touched on at the start of this video. If you come to MoneySmart, they are going to give you the options, many different options actually. So average interest rate. Now, importantly, if you have a look at this, we are filming this in November, mid to late November, 2023. So this was the average interest rate in September, but we have had an interest rate rise since then. So this isn't the current average interest rate. Anywho, we can adjust that at a later stage, which I already have automatically here. I've chosen 6.44. So the first website we went to, and I think it was CBA, had let's have a look here, 6.49. Then we went to 6.54, and I'm pretty sure this one was 6.34. So I've gone into the middle of these two, 6.54 versus 6.34, just go 6.44. Now we are borrowing $480,000. Our repayment frequency will be monthly, 30 years. Great little addition here, telling us, well, there might be fees attached to the account, which is more than likely there will be some form of fees attached, whatever it might be. And the fee frequency is also monthly. So your repayments will be $3,025 a month. So what are we hitting here? 3,031, 3,047, 3,105. So we're not far off. I think CVA would probably be the closest one there. So our payments are $3,025 per month. Mortgage details. So the principal is always how much you borrowed against the house. Which is why when it says you're paying off principal and interest, you're paying off the principal of the mortgage. So if you see my mouse go down, paying down the principal, but we also have to pay off the interest as well at the same stage. The people who are paying interest only will not be paying this portion here. On the right side of this graph, you're going to see what if interest rates go up by 0.75%. Great addition to this website, because down here you'll actually get the option to change that. So hypothetically, you're aware or you think that the interest rates might go up by 1 or 2% over the next few years, which is a really hard guess. As many of you know, even our best economists in Australia guess this wrong constantly. So who are we to guess? And I certainly wouldn't be following the mainstream media when it comes to these sort of things. Anyhow, you have the option to adjust this up or down to see how it would change your monthly loan repayments. On a $480,000 loan, if it goes up by 1%, your payments will cost an extra $322 per month. So great little tool there. Thank you very much for watching again, as usual. I hope that was informative. Look, if you have any questions or there's anything you want to clarify a little bit further, please do let me know in the comments. Otherwise, have an absolutely amazing day. Thank you again. Cheers. Bye.